It all started out on the Haw riverbank when 4 girls Day decided to tank. For science class, they took a field trip, but got lost when the class decided to dip. From different cliques each girl came from, one being preppy, pretty but dumb, who had everything she could ever wish for. To her, the other girls were just a bore. An athlete was among the group who could run for miles in a loop. State champ bound and tough as nails, a long line of runners from which she hails. Next, top of the class, bottom of the food chain, honor society is where she reigns. Was successful in all things but talking to boys, so kept to herself and made little noise. The last always had paint on her hands, a mural in her mind, and a song for the band. Star of the play and always center stage, a new boy made them turn the page. He did not belong to a particular clique, but among the girls, he caused a fit. Each of the girls is to tell a tale, and the best storyteller will win the male. One girl will win, fair and square, convincing the others how they make the best pair. The journey will be finding their way back to the bus, and so we begin with the one who makes the most fuss. There was one out of all the girls, dressed to the nines and decked out in pearls. Student body president and captain of the cheer team, her high school experience is every girl's dream. Charged everything to daddy's credit card. It seemed for anything she never had to work hard. On her arm she always had a boy, and when she was done threw him out like a toy. Head held high as she walked the halls, but mean words were written on the bathroom stalls. Because she was so pretty and popular, they thought gossiping was the only way of stopping her from getting everything that she could have ever wanted, because they were jealous of everything she flaunted.
Another girl was the best athlete of all. If you needed a teammate, she's who to call. With a blonde horse's tail as her hair, she could be recognized by her skin so fair. Wearing a t-shirt and running shorts, she was strong enough to build a fort. She loved to run no matter the weather. Her speed made it so no one could catch her. No one in the group could match her skills. Being kind-hearted, a fly she couldn't kill. This trip was something she was forced into. She told the group she would rather have the flu.
The next girl is top of the class yet very shy. Science and math is where she soared high. She stood shorter than most, with light brown hair that was straight as a post. Scoring nearly perfectly on her SAT, she couldn't be beat. With colleges competing for her attention, the other students were feeling the heat. She was popular among teachers but not her peers, yet suddenly she has 30 new friends as finals grew near. She tried acting and drama but never made the cut, then moved on to sports and fell on her butt. So honor society is where she stays to complete the remainder of her high school days.
Save the best girl for last. She's always the top choice for the cast. Under the ink, paints, and smock, she has the perfect body, smile, and locks. Arts and theater are her passions, not to mention her love for fashion. Van Gogh and Da Vinci seem elementary. She will be the top artist of this century. There is no point in having auditions. She always gets the lead role. Singing under the spotlight, her voice resonates in your soul. She is the greatest hidden temptation. Her work is always a sensation.
The one thing that was her biggest worry was if her Jack Rogers were going to get dirty. As she walked along the path that would never end, she didn't think one of these girls could be her friend. Not one nail polished, not a good sign. They walk so fast she thinks she'll be left behind. Her mind starts to drift to earlier today, and the movie in her mind starts to play. When she was walking through the hall and saw that boy so broad and tall, a smile came to her face and she couldn't help but giggle at the fact that he makes her heart melt. "What's so funny?" that nerdy girl said, as she looked back at the preppy girl with dread. "Nothing," she told her, shrugging innocently. "When are we getting out of here? I have places to be." The others all rolled their eyes and said, "Us too. You're not the only one with things to do." She told them they didn't understand, that there was an important meeting at hand. This meeting I had to make was dire. As I kept walking, my legs began to tire. The only thing getting me through was this boy. Remembering the day we met brought me joy. It was just a few weeks back on the field. In both hands pom-poms I wheeled. I was leading practice when a football caught my eye. The spiral came closer and I thought I was going to die. But then all of a sudden strong hands came in sight, and a figure leapt in front of me with all his might, and caught the ball with such athletic grace, all the while saving my pretty face. "My hero," I shouted, and jumped up and down. He smiled and went to play more touchdown. I told the girls that he saved my life, and among those girls he caused a strife. Turns out they all liked him too. About what was I supposed to do? Clearly we are meant to be his quarterback, and I'm captain of the cheer team. None of these girls were qualified to be with him, especially the nerd whose personality was so dim. She rarely spoke, and I'm pretty sure that her best and only friend was a teacher. We continued to walk for what I felt like forever, since I was covered in bug bites and blisters. We started to argue about how to get back before a cloud could sneak up on us and attack, but soon enough we found our way back, and it was all thanks to the nerd who found our track. Maybe being smart is not so bad. Turns out that girl is actually pretty rad. You may be rich and pretty, but he doesn't like girls who are so petty. He goes after the humble and kind. That is why our hearts will bind. Me being the fastest of all will win his heart during this fall. I have the entire package, and I come with almost no baggage. The day we met was 1 in a million. Together we will live to be 1 billion. It was one day while running on the track, I heard someone else coming up from the back. It was a boy who looked so fine, one with whom I wanted to dine. He spoke to me with his voice so sweet, and he was so light on his feet. I made it my goal to show him my speed, but during the warm-up he ran like a steed. Somehow I managed to keep up, but to his questions I could only answer yup. Of course I doubted whether I was the one for him. With all the girls in our school, my chances looked grim. But then I remembered who I am, the best runner in the school's program. He couldn't possibly want any girl but me, for I was the one who helped him up when he hurt his knee. Some would say I had competition with a girl in drama, but how? She sounds like a llama. Plus, all she can do is draw and act, and she always overreact. She always wore the strangest clothes, and her fingers looked like toes. Not to mention she was always covered in paint. She always looked like she was ready to faint. How could he want someone so tiny, with a voice so whiny? At least I had some muscle, and always knew how to hustle. One time I saw him in the hall with her. I couldn't believe it, and my stomach began to stir. Suddenly I remembered he's good at everything. Then I heard the bell start to ring, so I casually walked to class, hoping he wouldn't see me pass. I couldn't stop thinking about that day. The memory just wouldn't fade away. Then I came to a realization that she might just be the most talented girl in the nation, and maybe she wasn't so lame after all, even though she seemed so small. Of course this would happen to me. Being stranded with 3 popular girls makes me weak in the knees. The prom queen keeps giggling at nothing. The athlete looks like she's inching to go running. And the drama queen keeps humming. I'm feeling nauseous. The girls were being quiet, and I needed to be cautious. Today I will finally talk to that boy, and I know that if I get it right, he will bring me joy. I hope our detour doesn't make us late. My nerves are building, and I just can't wait. Now I know you think you're meant to be, so sit down and let me tell you why he should be with me. Many people might not think that we have similarities, but together we share thoughts, ideas, while you're just a charity. We share our love for knowledge. Together we are bound for an Ivy League college. I can still remember the day we met. Working together so well, we were like a modern Romeo and Juliet. Who knew that a boy was so fine and could have a GPA that rivaled mine? He looked at me with amazement in his eyes. Finally, he said, I found someone just as wise. And that is where I drew a blank. I was incapable of responding, and my hopes sank. And there goes my chances of standing out from other girls' advances. But he just chuckled and didn't seem to mind, proving once again that he's an amazing find. Of course, everyone would find him irresistible. His charm and good looks are unmistakable. Apparently, the girls in my group are competition, but to win him over is my mission. The prep kept making jokes, smacking on her gum. I hope she chokes. But when something she says makes me laugh, talking about lines and graphs, maybe she isn't as dumb as she seems. After all, she is the girl from every guy's dreams. With the help of all the other girls, I was able to find the way back. With how well we work together, we deserve a plaque. Walking with these girls, my blood begins to boil. With the cocky jock, the teacher's bet, and the bratty royal. Trekking through this terrain is already enough. Dealing with these girls, I feel trapped in handcuffs. I start to hum and think about this guy. He makes my heart explode like the 4th of July. It all started on the first rehearsal day. Romeo and Juliet is the play. Of course I was Juliet, but who could be Romeo? What if this boy ruins my show? I started to wonder if he could be a creep, or if his talk could put me to sleep. In my head I thought of 100 ways this could go. He could even disrupt my flow. I first met him on center stage. He wanted to start a conversation, so I began to engage. He does honor society and track, but football is where he has the top spot. Oh, and did I mention that he was hot? When we are on stage, it's like we don't have to act. We even have chemistry off the stage, and that's a fact.
Him and I as Romeo and Juliet is meant to be. None of these girls could compete with me. While those girls are smitten and giddy, I am quite charming and witty. Unlike these girls that fit a mold and a stencil, I go beyond the lines with my pen and pencils. Take a look at my portfolio, it won't disappoint, unlike the girl that scored more guys than points. Colleges might even be coming at the nerd for grades and skills, but Hollywood is knocking on my door to move to Beverly Hills. Then there is the prep who thinks she is the queen, when really I just want to put her in a guillotine. Still tracking through the woods and it's a bore. There's nothing that I want more. I have to get to the bus before 2:15 because after school, Romy and I have the kissing scene. All of these thoughts in my mind, it started to get clogged. Us girls even started to argue about if we should have jogged. Suddenly, the prep turned us into a team. The athletes soon had us running like a machine. With the nerd in the lead, heading to the bus, there is no challenge that can stop us. Now that I think about it, these girls may not be so bad. Together we found the bus, and now I am glad.